We start with Bing, a man placed in a 1984 dystopian nightmare where he is surrounded by TV screens 24/7. Bing is given 15 million merits after his brother's passing, and he finds a girl that has a beautiful voice, a girl named Abby. Because of her singing and the fact that he's crushing on her pretty hard, Bing wants to give Abby the majority of his merits, so she can enter a show called Hot Shot and move on to something better. Brooker stated that the narrative of 15 million merits is heavily inspired by the narrative in talent shows, referring to shows like American Idol and The X Factor, and mentioning that there's a lot of people who do a job that they hate for little reward, and one of the main means of salvation that's held up is to become an overnight star. Brooker's wife, Connie Huck, was a huge part in the conceptualization of 15 million merits. Connie is well known for presenting a show on BBC called Blue Peter. From her experience on the show, she made an observation that you would see so many kids strive to become famous without really necessarily knowing what they would be famous for. We even see a glimpse of this when Abby first arrives to the preview room for Hot Shot, as she is told to say a script into the camera for what she wants to be in the future. Abby complies and says, "I guess I'd like to be as big as Selma one day," with the key word being guess. In order to better help understand the ending, we have to further talk about the world Bing lives in. We see a very distinct class system, especially with appearances. The beautiful are the upper class as they are shown off to the world on television, and the average moderately fit people are the middle class on the bikes, representative of the middle class's menial repetitive work cycle. And the overweight are the lower class doing jobs like janitorial work. The middle class end up saving and saving to then fork up 15 million merits to get a shot at their 15 minutes of fame. At least for the middle class, the world of 15 million merits is becoming the reality for more and more people every day. Waking up and trying to start your day when seeing advertisements on your phones from applications that you have to pay premiums in order to not listen to or watch the ads. Going to work also in front of a computer surrounded by a plethora of other screens. Come home and you have a screen that you either watch reality TV on or you shoot things up on video games. You go to sleep and the vicious cycle repeats itself. When people talk about how out of whack Black Mirror is, one of the first episodes that they mention is 15 million merits, but I think it's far more relatable than it is bizarre. When talking about the song Abby ends up singing on Hot Shot, she says her mom used to sing it to her, and her mom learned it from her mom, that it was a sentimental hand-me-down. Bing thought her voice and the lyrics were just so beautiful. Abby wanted him to invest in stuff for himself, like his room or his doppel, but Bing combats this with, "That's all stuff, it's confetti, you've got something real." When performing the song on Hot Shot, the song brings the audience members to tears, and Judge Hope even claims the best piece of singing we've had this season. But then Abby gets an offer to go on Wraith's channel, which is just pornography. All the other judges think that it's the only choice for her. She is told that people will do anything to be where she is, and that she'd be a star. After she is pressured by the audience, Abby gives in, because it's still better than being on the bike and doing the same boring, repetitive work. She agrees and is put on Wraith's channel, dressed up in provocative outfits, forced to perform erotic scenarios, and told to read a script and lie to the audience, because she looks like she hates every single minute of it. They took something so beautiful and innocent, like a talented singer performing a song passed down from each generation of her family, and then they corrupted it, having to over-sexualize the hell out of her. By the way, if you didn't already think their society was corrupt enough, Selma is advertised on commercial after commercial, being the only star from Hot Shot we really see. People are told to say to the camera that they want to be like Selma so they can convince the public that if you work hard enough and if you're a good enough singer, then you can be just like Selma. Once we get into the waiting room, everyone is singing because they believed in the lie that they were told. And when Abby finally performs, even though Hope claimed it to be the best performance they had all season, Charity and Hope come to the conclusion that they already have too many singers from the previous season. It's a rigged system meant to shatter your dreams, to make you compromise for something lower than your expectations, but slightly better than your average life. Enraged on the fate of Abby, Bing works relentlessly, working long hours, eating scraps, and pedaling away, saving up enough to get 15 mil. When on the Hot Shot stage, Bing stammers and doesn't really know what he's gonna say, or exactly what he wanted to say. He just knew that he had to be there, to do something about Abby, so he just starts talking. The most that we hear him talk in the entire episode. Just one big rant that is his stream of consciousness. He tells the truth, expressing how he's been feeling and telling everyone what he's against, like how much he hates the oppression of the lower class, how there is most likely no meaning behind working on the cycles, and how he hates the judges for sitting there there and doing nothing about how messed up the system is, and how they only contribute to it. Once he is out of breath and has said his piece, Hope offers him a job to host a stream. And the next time we see Bing, he's streaming on television, living in a much better space. Looking around his apartment, we see another penguin, except this one is made out of wood and is clearly professionally made. This penguin is the key indicator that he traded something pure and real for just some more artificial stuff. Bing didn't even drink any of the compliance stuff they gave Abby, the stuff that probably swayed Abby to say yes to the opportunity in the first place. We see that Abby is still on Wraith's channel. Bing didn't break her out or even try to get to her. Bing just lets her get sucked up by the system as he stands in his apartment alone. When Bing looks out onto the green, it's a debate whether or not he's looking out a window or onto a wall of screens. But I think the more important question that we need to address is, who is Bing? Bing ends up being a hypocrite. In the beginning, money was useless to him. He gave it away to make something real happen, and supposedly had no issue doing so. When he gets on Hotshot, he rants about the world and how awful it is, and how no one does anything about it. Yet he reaps the benefits of being a streamer, not having to pedal anymore, and living in a nice apartment with a view of the outside world. Bing turns real thoughts, fears, and concerns into something that you just view on a stream for entertainment. All these things he used to believe in, but when given the opportunity for a better life, he trades his own morals, trading one prison cell for a cozier prison cell. He becomes a sellout. During his rant, Bing questions the system, shouting, "We ride day in, day out, going where, powering what," and claims fake fodder is all that we can stomach. In the context of the world they're living in, everything that he's saying is true, and all the questions that he's asking are completely valid, and Judge Hope even knows them to be. But now Bing has his own stream, and continuously rants about how corrupt the system is. And one of the main things he talks about is how the doppel items are meant to distract you from your prison cell. Yet the piece of glass, which is a symbol that supposedly fights something like consumerism, gets sold as an accessory on the doppel marketplace. His old prison cell just becomes a backdrop for his new show, as he talks to everyone like he can relate to them, but he is living in much better conditions. It's an entertainment platform, so by saying these words through his stream, it numbs the audience to the truth, and essentially delegitimizes the integrity of his own words. Everything about it just becomes the norm as it becomes fake, and because of this, Bing's warnings are no longer a wake-up call, as the falsities of their society are even more accepted by the people. With this episode, Black Mirror is pretty much calling out itself, as Black Mirror is a show that delivers true powerful messages about the society we live in, but delivers them to us through a form of entertainment, thus numbing the meaning behind it, as the show just falls back into the many streaming services available for our entertainment, showing us that the ones telling you the system is corrupt are part of the system. When conforming to the system, Bing takes the broken glass piece, the symbol for change and something to combat their prison-like society, and he turns it into a gimmick. Then he condemns it into a black box. This episode can leave you with a lot of questions, but I think the most important one to address is, if someone offered you freedom from the prison cell you were stuck in, much better living conditions, the ability to leave your pointless job and painstakingly boring daily routine to work 1 hour a week, would you take it? If all you had to do was go back on your own moral beliefs, would you seize that opportunity? 'Cause I probably would. And those are my thoughts on the ending of 15 Million Merits. If you guys like this video and love Black Mirror, please subscribe, because I'm always doing Black Mirror analysis videos just like this one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next Black Mirror ending explained.